What up, Studio Shade Gang? I know it has been a while, okay? This coronavirus and all this other stuff has been so crazy. But I have, in June, I decided to do a month-long vegan challenge. And here we are in August, and I'm still a flexitarian a little bit, but still trying to be vegan. And so I came across this amazing mac and cheese recipe by Tabitha Brown, my girl. And so I am going to make it, and I'm going to film it and share it with you all, because I got so many people once I made it that were like, oh my gosh, like, how did you make that? What did you do? So Studio Shade Gang comes through again, and I bought this. It's a neck phone holder. So we'll see how it works. I don't know. I've never used it. So we'll see how it works as I record the process, how much of what to put in there, what I got, everything. I'm going to share everything with you, and we'll go from there. So right now I am washing my hands because coronavirus, obviously, and I'm cooking and I want my hands to be clean. So there you go. Here is the medium-sized squash I used, and then one large potato, nutritional yeast. I used Kite Hill plain unsweet almond milk yogurt, but you can also use cashew yogurt, vegetable broth, the lovely cheddar style and mozzarella style shreds. Any noodles you desire. I just had these and used them, so whatever you want. And then my favorite Earth Balance vegan butter. So here I am actually just cutting my squash in half, and I'm going to use a spoon to get the seeds out and the slime to the best of my ability. And then I am actually going to use a knife to actually peel the skin off of the squash. So you want to make sure that you face the knife away from you, and you just ever so slightly kind of push into it and peel it away from you. So as you can see, I did it slow, and then I'm going to speed it up a little bit, but please take your time. You don't have to go fast. I will say this whole recipe, the first time I did it, not this time when I was recording, but the first couple times I did it actually took probably 20 minutes. So yeah, take your time, do what you need to do. Please don't hurt yourself, because it's bomb, but it ain't worth cutting yourself. So this is the peeled product. I went ahead and did the potato and both halves of the squash. And then I realized that, I need to cut it, but I think that the squash was too big. So I was going to use both halves, but I realized, you know what, let's just go ahead and cut these in vertical strips. And then now I'm going to cut it horizontally. And I was honestly using I was guiding a plane, like hand gestures. I don't really know why. And then I ended up cutting it into cubes. So that's the size that you kind of want them. Honestly, I wouldn't cut them too small, but the smaller you do cut them, the quicker they will cook. So just make sure you make them a good, decent size there. And then, that's when I realized, you know what, I'm probably not going to use both halves. So I'm going to cut this potato. I'm actually cutting the slime off of, I don't have a better word than slime, but the inside where the seeds are, I'm cutting that off of the squash because I don't want that in my mac and cheese. So that's what I'm doing here. Again, sped up, so take your time. Now I'm cutting my potato. And so, in just decent size pieces. You don't have to make it perfect. But again, cutting it in cube so that they are good sizes. And I'll show you what I mean by that in just a second. Yeah, so those are the pieces you want to make. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect, just kind of whatever. You're going to end up not even knowing that that this is even in there, so it doesn't even matter what it looks like. Perfect. So I put the potato and squash mixture in one pot, and then my noodles in another pot. And I'm adding some Morton sea salt to my noodles. I like to cook them at the same time so that they're done at the same time, and that just cuts down on cook time in the sense. And then I'm going to add some lovely Lawry's garlic salt to my potato and squash mixture. And not a lot, because the water's going to boil. I'm actually going to pour the water off of these, and so I just want to give it a little bit of flavor while it boils. So it's boiling now, as you can see. And I'm not going to tell you how long to boil it. Honestly, boil it until it's soft. Like with this spoon, I was able to actually slice the potatoes and the squash. So I knew that it was soft enough, and then cook your noodles. You can follow instructions or whatever, however you cook them is fine. So straining them, and I am actually going to be putting them in another bowl so that they can cool off a little bit. And while they're in this bowl, I'm actually going to add some more Lawry's to this and season it up. You can add whatever you want. I like garlic, I like lemon pepper, so that's what I added to mine. I like regular pepper. I don't cook with a lot of salt, but that's totally up to you. And then I'm adding avocado oil. You can add whatever type of oil you want. I just added that so that my noodles don't stick. I would not add olive oil because of the smoke point. And so I used a stick and a half of butter. And if you could see, this stick is pretty small. So that's why I used a stick and a half. And I'm going to put that in a large skillet and melt that. And then I'm adding back my squash potato mixture. And now what I'm doing is using the spoon to just kind of mash and dice and really, get rid of the form of the potatoes and squash that you see now. So that's what I'm doing. You can use a potato masher if you want. And now I'm going to add just a half a cup to start of my almond yogurt. I am definitely going to use a whole cup of that. Just so you know, but I just wanted to start with this to help kind of make it look creamy, and you'll start to see the transformation of the actual product as we add more things and as it cooks a little. So you'll start to see that it's going to look creamy. So this is what it should look like. So yeah, if it looks like that, you're in a good spot. And then I am running out of it. I actually ran out of this, so I'm going to use the rest of it, which is perfect amount. Like I said, I want to use a whole cup of this. And so again, still using my spoon to kind of dice up the big pieces and make it creamy. So this is my nutritional yeast. Excuse me. And I am just not adding it yet. I'm still making sure that my chunks are out. So that's really what I'm doing here. And then with nutritional yeast, I am adding, to start, 1/4 of a cup. The nutritional yeast is actually what gives this mac and cheese a cheesy flavor. So add to taste. I'm giving you these instructions, but honestly, I just, let the spirit lead me when I cook. I don't typically follow instructions or, recipes. So I'm getting some toothpicks. Usually I would use a spoon, but I don't know. I didn't have one handy since I was recording. And I'm going to add some more nutritional yeast because I was like, that's not cheesy enough. That's not the taste that I want. So please feel free. Start with the 1/4 a cup and then just add more. You can always add more, but if you add too much, you can't take it out. So just remember that. But you can see kind of the texture changing here. I'm tasting it again, making sure it's good, adding a little more to my taste buds. So yeah. And now I'm going to add the diet cheese. Honestly, I didn't have, I used more the first couple times I used it. I didn't have as much as I thought I had left. And so I probably would put 2, handfuls, not a whole lot. Maybe if you're going to use big handfuls, I do one of each. And then you're going to stir it in. And this is really what makes it stretch. So it makes it, you can kind of see that it's thicker now. And I'm just stirring and kind of making sure my chunks are out. Really stirring that around to make sure that it's an even cheese taste. And then I'm going to use some vegetable broth. Now with vegetable broth, it's to your liking. I like my mac and cheese not watery. And so I put it in 1/4 of a cup measuring cup. But as you see, I didn't use the whole thing. I really just wanted to add some flavor and just a little bit of liquid. And so now you can see that that's how I like mine. And I was going to add my noodles to that mixture. However, I decided to just put it in a casserole dish. So stirring it up, turning my heat off, and I am mixing that in. So as you can see, I did half of it, and I'm just making sure that all the noodles are saturated thoroughly in my casserole dish. I would say with cooking all of this stuff, boiling, obviously boil it till whatever temperature, but about medium to medium high temperature. If you have numbers like me, I did a 6 and a 7 mostly for cooking. So so medium to medium high, kind of in between there. And I am just mixing that around, making sure every single noodle has enough cheese. And as you can see, you cannot even tell that it's not real cheese in the mac and cheese. So super proud of that. Adding some pepper. I did add some more Lowry's to this as well to give it some more flavor. Again, season it how you want. You can use garlic powder, onion powder, whatever seasonings your heart desires. Treat yourself. A little more pepper here. Flick of the wrist. And I added breadcrumbs. Now I'm going to be honest, usually I use the regular breadcrumbs I just showed you, but today I used panko, and I actually like the regular breadcrumbs better. So here's my recipe. Cook it on 350 for 10 minutes and it is done. You do not have to bake it if you don't want to. Have a good day. Love you, Studio Shea gang gang.